Hey everybody, it's been a bit, but we're back with more The Excavation of HOB'S BAROOW. When we left off on our last episode, Arthur had disappeared, Mr. Shoulder had left us waiting at the bar, and we went to bed. The game is already throwing some very interesting mystery at us, and I can't wait to dive deeper into it. So let's get to it, shall we? All right, so I hope everybody's well out there. Thank you all for coming back. We are going to continue the game. We slept through the night. There was something that happened when I stopped recording last time where a cat snuck in and messed with our sleep. Let me see here. Let's
My dress inside. Aside from that, the wardrobe is empty.
Okay.
Jammed shut. The wood must have warped over the years.
Okay.
My case in there. A box within a box.
All right. Well, it looks like we are going to exit our room. I can't remember. Do we have? Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Space bar to activate what I can interact with. We're gonna go back into the room, see if I missed anything then. Wardrobe, plate, painting, bed, bowl.
I don't wish to take it.
Okay, so there's nothing in here to interact with that I don't need. Stanley Kemp, the bar. Let's talk to Stanley.
Did you sleep well, Miss Bateman?
Tell the truth.
Not really. I have the rather queer recollection of a cat entering my room last night.
A cat, you say?
Yes, an odd-looking grey one. I must have been dreaming as I locked the door and windows before I went to sleep. I saw a similar cat in the lavatories while searching for Mr. Tibbett.
Ah, Herbert. Oh, he's a harmless thing. He comes in now and then searching for scraps.
Indeed. Seeing him in the lavatories must have conjured up the strange dream.
The mind is capable of
Or
frightful things, Miss Bateman.
Or something's up with the cat. Or the cat's a MacGuffin. That could be it too.
Clear morning outside.
I have to say, I'm really happy that there's voice acting in this and I don't have to read it all.
What time will he be
Some of these, when I'm reading them, my throat dries out a lot, so.
Excavation equipment.
Oh, aye. What does that entail?
Picks, shovels, buckets, lighting and such. He usually packs it in a large crate. Come to think of it, I'll need somewhere to store it.
You're welcome to use the alley behind the inn for any such bulky items.
Let me see here. We're going to ask that question first.
I can assure you the local folk are not thieves, Miss Bateman.
That's not what I...
Now, say nothing more of it.
Thank you, Stanley.
I'll let you get on with your day.
I'll be back with my assistant when he arrives.
Miss Bateman,
Yes?
I've something I wish to get off my chest, as it were. I've been tossing and turning all night, Miss Bateman. I feel rotten, I really do.
What on earth are you talking about?
As you know, I like to run an honest establishment. And well, I have not been honest with you, lass. I do know of HOB'S BAROOW.
Okay.
I do. Many here do. There are stories tied to that place, you know. If I've learned anything in this life, it's that some stones are best left unturned. Old Leonard Shoulder is someone to be wary of too. I can't tell you what to do, lass, but you'd best avoid him.
Well, that's interesting.
Why lie to me about HOB'S BAROOW?
I know, lass, I know. I feel dreadful.
But why? What are these stories you speak of?
I really can't tell you more. If you insist on visiting that place, you'll have to seek out Mr. Shoulder. He brought you here. He should be the one to tell you.
I must say, Mr. Kemp, this is all quite puzzling. I've never let local superstitions stop me in the past. I pride myself on being a woman of logic and reason. I've no time to waste on such matters.
As I say, seek out Mr. Shoulder. He can tell you more.
So there's a series of books called the Amelia Peabody Chronicles or whatever by Elizabeth Peters. And your main character is a woman who gets into Egyptology after her father passes away because she has a massive inheritance in Victorian England. And that's what this is kind of reminding me of, because there's a lot of mystery and intense things that happen within that. That's probably why I'm enjoying this so much, because that's who Miss Bateman's reminded me of, is Amelia Peabody. A very straightforward, calls it as she sees it type of woman, which is really cool.
Why must I be wary of Mr. Shoulder?
The man has a certain reputation.
For what?
You've seen it already. Were he here to meet you last night?
No.
Precisely. A man not to be trusted.
Where is HOB'S barrow?
I don't know. I say that on my mother's grave, Miss Bateman.
I now find that hard to believe.
The moors are vast, lass. I'd tend not to go wandering out there. A grown man could lose himself and not be seen again.
Where does Mr. Shoulder live?
I can't say for sure. As I think I told you last night, he's a quiet man and keeps to himself. He only comes in here to collect his post. Leads me to believe he lives a fair distance away. Certainly not in the village itself.
Someone around Bewlay be able to help me find him?
You could ask around. As I say, lass, Bewlay folk mean well. Don't forget that.
I shall return later.
Good day to you, lass.
Interesting. Okay.
Seems I may be fighting a battle against some sort of local superstition. Is there a single barrow in England that doesn't have some ghastly tale attached to it?
The answer is no. The answer is no. Every small town in England has some high-strung, super screwy superstition.
Hello. My name is Thomasina, and you are?
Now then, that's none of your concern, love.
What do you do around here?
Hey up, you're not scared of sticking your neb in. I look after the churchyard, dig the graves.
Okay.
What can you tell me about the church?
Aye, it's a church.
Quite.
Fucking helpful.
Do you know a man named Leonard Shoulder?
I don't know aught about no Leonard Shoulder.
What can you tell me about HOB'S barrow?
Naught to be found digging around in those things.
You know of local barrows, then?
Don't concern yourself.
Damn.
Tell me about Bewlay.
Not much around here, love. Not worth mentioning to you, like.
I see. Goodbye.
Ta-ra.
All right. What else we got? Alley, window box, window box. Let's go take a look in the alley again. Barrels, hitching post, window, window. Okay, so nothing different than the previous night.
I don't think anyone is home.
Okay. So we have a young woman and a child. This is, if I remember correctly...
A small plaque beside the door reads, Vicar.
That's right. It's the local vicar. Got it. So what else do we got? We got cross.
Quite an ornate construction. This was created with pride and care. Good day.
Hello, miss.
My name is Thomasina. What's yours?
Betty.
Nice to meet you, Betty.
Sounds exasperated.
What are you up to?
My brother is practicing his sword fighting technique. I'm to watch him until he tires himself out.
I'm tireless!
This time last month it were all about his teaspoon collection. This month it's swords.
Do you know a man named Leonard Shoulder?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Angsty teenager.
What do you know of HOB'S Barrow?
Our parents don't like us talking to strangers, miss.
So you know of it?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye, miss.
Hello,
Yes?
my name is Thomasina. What's yours?
Douglas?
It's a pleasure to meet.
Douglas. I do wish the northern accent was a bit more, being as this is supposed to probably be taking place in southern Scotland. I understand why it's not. That accent can be a bit much to work through from an audio perspective, but it would have given a little bit more authenticity, I think.
Great sword technique you have.
Thanks, miss. Mr. Crozier's gonna make me a real one when I turn 12. I'm preparing myself to fight the Lambton Worm.
Lambton Worm?
It's gonna come back and get us all. John Lambton thought he killed it at the River Wear, but my father told me it still lives. We must all be prepared.
So is that another local superstition?
Father just told you that to get you out of his hair.
Not true. I saw it slithering out by the beck. Like a giant eel it were. I ran home so fast I thought I would fly.
Sorry, miss.
Okay.
Has a vivid imagination.
Children often do at his age.
I'll keep training. You will all thank me when I thrust my sword deep into its fat belly.
Douglas, this lady doesn't want to hear your nonsense.
Not necessarily.
You like living in Bewlay?
Yeah, I do. Are you from the city?
I'm from a long way away.
You must have come on the train. I love watching all the steam puff up into the sky.
Have you been on the train yourself?
No, miss. Our parents don't have the money for train tickets. Father says we have all we need here in Bewlay.
There's a little bit of hint of the northern accent.
You away with her on the train.
Like, it doesn't have to be super thick, but someone like David Tennant or Chris Eccleston, who are Scotsmen, a little bit thickish, a little more broguish in the speaking bits would be nice. But I also get it. This is very palatable audibly speaking across the board. It makes it very easy to understand. So I guess I get why they did things the way they did. I just personally would have appreciated having a little bit more authentic accents within the narration of the game, but that's neither here nor there. It doesn't really change the overall experience so far, which this game is very, very fun.
I know a man called Leonard Shoulder.
That's a funny name.
Take that as a no.
Have you heard of HOB'S Barrow?
What's that?
A local burial mound.
Our parents don't let us wander far from the village.
What's a burial mound?
Don't you mind about that, Douglas.
Okay.
Mr. Crozier.
He's a blacksmith. His forge is just over there on the other side of the square.
Okay.
12 years of age is a little young for a real sword.
I'll be a master swordsman by then.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, miss.
Okay. What else we got? Across the sign.
The sign is in a shabby state, but the shop appears to be a cobbler's.
Okay. So I'm assuming we probably need to talk to the blacksmith.
A fantastic specimen.
Interesting.
Good day.
Yes?
Mr. Crozier, I presume.
Aye, George Crozier, at your service.
My name is Thomasina.
Aye, can I help you?
Are you a Bewlay native, Mr. Crozier?
Aye, born and bred. That's where my father's forged before mine.
How is business faring?
I do an honest trade. There'll always be horses needing shoes and farmers needing tools. You let me know if you need out made or mended. I'll do you a fair price.
Thank you, Mr. Crozier. Do you know a man by the name of Leonard Shoulder?
Oh, aye. Old Leonard.
Finally, somebody who knows Leonard.
No, not recently.
Do you know where he lives?
Why all these questions, lass?
I need to speak with him. He invited me to Bewlay.
Oh, he'll turn up. I've seen him in the plough and furrow from time to time.
But do you know where he lives? I need to find him.
I believe he lives somewhere out on the moors. Can't tell you out more than that.
Thank you, Mr. Crozier.
So it's really interesting because, he'll be at the plow and farrow from time to time. The mentality, especially during this era between these small agriculturally based towns and larger cities when it came to time, was significantly different. The cities were more fast paced. Things got done quicker. There was more immediacy in the action of those who lived in the city and worked in the city. Whereas, and this is even evident even nowadays here in America, your smaller towns are much more relaxed. They are, especially like in the Midwest where I grew up and where I live. There's a different speed to life. Now, granted, there's always going to be 24 hours in a day, at least as far as I know. But time is not as important, it seems, as it would be for someone living in the city, where with the bustling traffic, with the to and fro of everyday life, you have to move very, very fast. In small farming towns, especially those who rely on agriculture as a primary employment option, everything goes by the season, really, and the weather, and you kind of just let things happen as they happen because that's just the mentality that people take. And there's a lot to be appreciated about that. I grew up with that as not necessarily a mentality, but as an experience.
Do you know of a local landmark named HOB'S Barrow?
There's a fair many barrows found out on the moors, lass. Too many to put a name to. Not a soul in Bewlay pays them any mind.
What can you tell me about Bewlay?
We don't get many visitors here, outside of market days. But there's plenty of work for the village blacksmith. Where are you from, then?
I arrived yesterday on the train from London, by way of Derby.
Oh, aye. I've heard about London.
What have you heard?
Plenty of factories there.
Yes, indeed. The city is always changing and moving forward.
Too busy for me, though, lass.
See what I mean?
I noticed your spectacular fossil specimen.
Oh, aye. I collect them. This one is called an...
Ammonite.
I'm impressed, lass.
From the Jurassic period, I'd venture.
Do you collect them too, then?
My true interests lie in comparatively modern history.
Oh, aye. Well, I do love a fossil. It's important to remember that we all end up in the soil eventually.
Oh, that's fucking ominous. It's always important to remember that we all end up in the soil eventually. That's fucking dark. Jesus.
Once or twice a month. The next one is tomorrow.
How delightful.
Okay.
Unless your vice is cabbages, there'll be naught to interest a young lady.
I don't mind a cabbage.
Then you're in luck.
Thanks for your time.
Aye. Speak to you later.
So, with each Cloak and Dagger game that I've played, they've done more and more. And this so far is their Oedipus, or their cap. It's still a point and click, but they've been able to incorporate voice acting. There's more background sounds. There's more, even the artwork, in my opinion, is significantly a step up from previous games that I've played of theirs. I'm very much looking forward to see what Cloak and Dagger will do next. Door, lantern, exit. Let's go up to the church. We have an old woman.
Hello. Good day. Would you like to buy one of these cakes, pet?
What kind of cakes do you have?
I have some lovely Bakewell puddings. The sweetest marriage of almond and jam. I can tell you're not from around here, because if you were, you would know about my Bakewell puddings. They are quite famous.
Alas, I'm not carrying any money with me.
That's unfortunate, pet. I'm sorry. I can't give them away for free. The money goes to the church, you see, and one cannot shirk one's duty to the church.
I understand.
The setting also kind of reminds me of Hot Fuzz. Small little town kind of thing.
My name is Thomasina. What's yours?
Mrs. Duplancy.
A pleasure to meet you, Mrs.
Mrs. Duplancy?
Tell me about yourself, Mrs. Duplancy.
About me? What would you possibly want to know about me? I've been attending St. Edmund's Church my whole life. I always want to help where I can, so I sell my baked goods, and all the proceeds go to its upkeep. This place
Okay.
so much to me.
Okay.
Your cakes look delicious.
I can assure you they are. You'll not find better in the entire county.
What can you tell me about St. Edmund's Church?
Isn't it the finest building? It's been standing here since the 12th century.
So the 1100s? I mean, that would track.
In the nave are very fine and date back to the 17th century.
Okay.
The door is open if you'd like to worship.
Thank you, Mrs. Duplancy. Do you know a local man called Leonard Shoulder?
Yes, I know Leonard. What business do you have with him?
It's a long story, but I'm trying to find where he lives.
I'm afraid I don't know, dear. Father Roach has access to the parish register. He might be able to help you.
What can you tell me about Father Roach?
He is a lovely man and an exemplary servant of the Lord. He's been the vicar of St. Edmund's for many years.
Where can I find Father Roach?
At this time of day, he'll be taking his exercise in Herne Wood, to the west of the village.
Thank you. I'll go find him.
Be sure to listen out for his merry whistling. Such a jolly man.
Do we trust the clergy, though?
What do you know of HOB'S Barrow?
HOB'S what?
HOB'S Barrow, a local burial mound.
The only place of burial I know about and care for is in this very church.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Lord be with you.
In memory of Barnaby Tillett. In memory of Benjamin Garkham. In memory of Peter Black. In memory of Millicent Smith. In memory of George Paxton. In memory of Barnaby Tillett. In memory of William...
Okay. So did he die twice? Hope I just clicked on the wrong one.
In memory of Romeo Hegg, dearly missed by his beloved Juliet. In memory of Henry Crozier.
Okay. Mr. Lancy Trowell.
Excuse me, do you think anyone would mind if I borrowed this trowel?
You help yourself, dear. Father Roach won't mind lending it.
Okay.
Just be sure to put it back when you're finished.
Of course, thank you.
It is more blessed to give than to receive.
So we have letters, a handkerchief, a room key, a match book with I think one match, a glove, and a trowel. Okay. Explore Bewlay. Find Father Roach. Okay. Let's take a look in the church. Ooh, that's a really, really well rendered scene. Altar, window, ceiling, black, flowers, necklace.
Is that a necklace? Someone has left a necklace hanging here.
Is it a necklace or is it a rosary? Oh, silver.
Maybe I can reunite it with its owner.
Okay.
The pews are contained within compartments that can be locked. I've seen a similar design in other Norman churches around England, but this is a particularly impressive example. Locked. Locked as well. I think they all might be.
Why would you lock pews? If you know anything about Norman churches in history, please comment below why the box pews would lock. My experience with churches is we were able to move in and out freely from the pew.
Extraordinary craftsmanship. I can admire the craftsmanship from a memorial list of former vicars. They stretch back several hundred years. Those have seen better days. The flowers have long since dried out. I don't want them. Stained glass depictions of various biblical scenes.
Very common in churches of all kinds.
Admire the craftsmanship from afar.
Let me see here.
Time for such things. This must be where the local vicar sacrifices the newborns.
Oh, Jesus! Thomasina! No! No! Maybe, but no! What? What's this door then? Locked. Interesting. Over here. I hear whistling. Oh, hey, that's the vicar. Whoa. You okay there, Padre? What the hell?
Very sorry. Oh, the shame. This malaise will not pass. Oh, the nausea. I need your help, young lady.
Tell me what you need.
Let the blood from my arm.
Excuse me.
What?
Help me. I beg you.
Are you sure this is the only way, Father?
I beg you. It's the only cure for this torturous malady.
The vicar looks dreadfully ill. Are you sure this is the only way?
I don't have an...
Beg you. It's the only cure for...
Ouch! The broken lens is extremely sharp. I don't wish to look too closely. Perhaps I shouldn't risk soiling this glove until I find its owner.
Fine.
This handkerchief was a gift from my mother. I hope she will understand. This should work.
What the fuck?
Are you sure you want me to do this?
Yeah.
You will cure me of my ills.
I shall do as you ask, Father.
Oh. That is not how modern medicine works there, folks.
Thank the Lord for my spare pair. God bless you. I already feel quite better.
I'm glad, Father.
The rapid healing properties of bloodletting cannot be overstated. I'm Frederick Roach, vicar of St. Edmund's Church.
My name is Thomasina Bateman. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Rapid healing properties of bloodletting? What the hell? All right, we're going to get through this interaction, and then that'll be it for this episode, I think. Jesus.
Are you feeling better?
Yes, thank you.
What ails you, Father Roach?
I just ate a rotten berry, that's all.
Blood?
Blackberries for my supper, you see. They are quite delicious, as long as you mind the bramble. My apologies again. I wish we had met in different circumstances.
You don't use bloodletting if you've eaten a bad berry.
Are you from Bewlay originally?
I was born in our very own St. Edmund's. It's quite the story.
Do tell.
My mother was sheltering there as a frightful tempest raged. And lo, did her waters break right there and then in that pew.
One could say that you were born into your role, Father.
Indeed. When my mother told me the story as a young boy, I knew that this was my calling.
St. Edmund's is a fine building.
Thank you for saying so. It's hard work keeping her in good shape, but our congregation is always willing to lend a hand in the Lord's name.
What is it like being the vicar here?
Every day is a blessing, my child. I have a great love for our parish, and the Lord looks after us.
What about your congregation?
Numbers have fallen over the years, I must say. But those that remain are faithful and full of His Spirit.
I'm looking for Mr. Leonard Shoulder.
Oh, yes? Are you a relative?
No, it's a long story, but he invited me to Bewlay.
And he didn't tell you his address?
He was to meet me last night at the Plough and Furrow, but he never came.
I see. Well, let me welcome you to Bewlay on his behalf.
Thank you, Father. Do you know where Mr. Shoulder lives?
Let me think. It's been many moons since I've paid him a visit.
Perhaps you could allow me to take a look at the parish register.
No need. I remember it now. A fair hike across the moors.
Could you please give me directions?
I'll take you there myself. It's the least I can do after you aided me so.
Capital. Thank you.
Great.
You know when you're ready to pay him a visit. I'll be resting here for the time being.
What do you know of HOB'S Barrow?
I can't say I've heard of it.
It's supposedly a famous local landmark.
I'm afraid I know nothing about it.
What can you tell me about Bewlay?
It's a quiet town. The railway line, which I presume you arrived by, is the only news of note we've had here for years.
I've heard the new station has received a mixed reaction.
I've heard many a debate
Country folk reacting to change.
to adjudicate on that matter. I'm very busy in my own work, you see.
Thank you for your time.
Lord be with you.
Okay. We're gonna call that for this episode. We're gonna go ahead and save. And when we come back for our next episode, we will go with the vicar and go see Mr. Shoulder and figure out why he ditched me at the end. Until then, thank you everybody for showing up. Like and comment. I know quite a few of you see my content, but still don't subscribe. So please do that. And I will see everybody on the next episode. Thanks for hanging out. Hey everybody, ToddFather6 here signing off. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you want to see more, click the videos that are listed or hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications in order to be notified when I've got more posted. Until then, as always, be good, be kind, be safe. See you next time.